Donald Trump's Middle East tour should be over by now, so let's hop into the gifted Boeing, buckle up and break it all down. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to break down Trump's Middle East tour in detail, and of course, we're going to talk about the $400 million gift from Qatar that he accepted, and even the backlash from the MAGA media and the Republicans over it. So yeah, that's the plan, but before we get into that, just make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you enjoy videos like this. It's the #1 thing that helps the channel to grow, and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and now let's get into it. If you're using AI platforms, you probably got your requests rejected time and again, just like when I tried to create this harmless image of Trump and the BRIBE banner, but I'm not worried because at times like this, I switch to Venice AI, today's sponsor. Here's the picture, by the way. Venice AI gives you total creative freedom. It's a private AI platform that doesn't spy on what you type, doesn't track what you generate, and doesn't sell your data. No moderation filters, no government pipelines, just raw, unfiltered AI running right in your browser. And if you go pro, it gets even better. You can upload your own PDFs, ask for summaries, customize how the AI responds, and turn off safe mode completely. No more blocked requests, no more "sorry, I can't help with that." It just works. And honestly, the AI characters alone are worth checking out. They all have their own personality, and some of their answers are weirdly real. You'll see what I mean when you try it. And before you check it out, take 20% off a pro plan using my link venice.ai/iaskai and the code IAskAI, or scan the QR code and start experimenting with no limits. Thanks again to Venice AI for supporting the channel, and now let's get to the video. Alright, here we are. First I need ChatGPT to gather up all the latest news about that Middle East tour, and then we'll get started. Great, now ChatGPT's ready, and it needs to be clear, straightforward, 100% unbiased, no spin from the left or the right, no sugarcoating, no fluff, none of that. And first I'm going to ask it to break down the whole tour in detail. I'm sure a lot of you haven't been keeping track of it all, so let's see, was it actually impactful or not? And here it is. Trump's Middle East tour starts and continues with one word: deals. Not diplomacy, not security, not stability, just deals. Saudi Arabia was the crown jewel of that strategy. Trump stood next to MBS, smiled for the cameras, and announced a $600 billion investment commitment. It's not money handed over, it's mostly vague promises to maybe spend or invest in US sectors over the next few years, if it makes sense for Saudi Arabia. That includes a $142 billion arms deal, which is just more weapons flooding into a region already packed with firepower. Why? Because it pays. The US arms industry gets rich, Trump gets to brag about bringing money home, and the Saudis get more tools to assert dominance in the Gulf. Human rights? Not part of the conversation. Jamal Khashoggi's name didn't come up once. The Saudi journalist who was murdered inside their consulate. That's the cost of doing business. Qatar was next. There it was all about Boeing. Qatar Airways made a record-breaking deal, 160 planes, $96 billion. It's a big win for Boeing, no doubt. Trump made sure to stand in front of that number like it was a trophy. But again, let's look under the hood. Qatar doesn't make deals like that without expecting something in return. They want influence in Washington. They want to be seen as the good guy in the Gulf, and Trump gave them that spotlight. As part of that same spotlight, he also pitched the idea of a freedom zone in Gaza, basically a safe economic zone. Sounds good, but also sounds like a band-aid on a bullet wound. Gaza's not lacking in potential, it's lacking in peace, stability, and basic freedom. A flashy project funded by Qatar won't solve that overnight. But the Boeing deal, credit where it's due, that's a real win. For Boeing, for US manufacturing, and for the political message Trump wanted to send. It's strategic, it's massive, and it actually happened. But then came the real curveball, Syria. Trump sat down with Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Sharaa. First time a US president met with a Syrian leader in 25 years. That's not a small thing. He promised to lift sanctions if Syria plays ball, normalize ties with Israel, crack down on terror groups. Sounds bold, but it's risky. That country's still a mess. It's rebuilding from war. And now Trump's making side deals with a government that a few years ago was treated like a pariah. It might work, it might blow up in everyone's face, but one thing's clear: Israel's pissed. Trump didn't even stop there. He bypassed them entirely, made deals with Hamas to release a hostage, and talked about lifting sanctions on Syria. For a guy who used to call himself Israel's greatest friend, this was a full pivot, and Netanyahu, silent, but clearly not happy. The military piece was predictable. Trump dropped by Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, gave a speech to the troops, and praised American strength. It's a classic move. Say something patriotic, remind people the US still has a muscle in the region, and then leave. Nothing new, just part of the script. The whole tour screams transactional politics. It wasn't about values. It wasn't about long-term strategy. It was about showing Trump is back in charge, cutting business deals, and flipping old alliances on their heads if it means getting a better bargain. That's the pattern. If a dictator or an autocrat can offer a check, Trump's going to hear them out. Israel getting left out is proof that loyalty in Trump's world is conditional, useful until someone brings more to the table. As of now, he's still in the United Arab Emirates, wrapping up the last leg of the trip, so who knows? There might be another handshake, another vague promise, another headline, but don't expect anything different. The pattern is already set. Bottom line, this tour is all about leverage. Trump wants to look like he's reshaping the region, but honestly, he's just selling American access and protection to the highest bidder. It's old school empire politics with a modern marketing campaign. If you're fine with that, you'll say it's brilliant. If you care about human rights, alliances, and stability, it looks like short-term greed dressed up as strategy. Either way, it's very Trump. Alright, well, the tour isn't over yet while I'm recording, so I'm hoping that nothing major ends up happening in the UAE. Up next, I'm going to ask about that gifted Boeing from Qatar that Trump accepted and the backlash it sparked from Republicans. But before we move on, now's the perfect time to hit that like button if you haven't already, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because those two things really do help out a lot, and they keep the content coming every single week. Thanks so much, and now let's get back to the chat. Alright, now for the big question. What does ChatGPT have to say about that Boeing that Trump accepted as a gift from Qatar? And here's the answer. That gift is a massive red flag. Let's call it what it is. A $400 million luxury aircraft handed over by a foreign government to a sitting US president. That's not a token of friendship, that's influence shopping. Qatar didn't offer Trump a plane because they're feeling generous. They're buying leverage, plain and simple. The Constitution explicitly says presidents can't accept gifts from foreign states without congressional approval. That's not just some technicality, it's there to stop exactly this kind of thing. Powerful outsiders currying favor with US leaders through lavish gifts. Beyond legality, there's the intelligence nightmare. You don't just take a plane from a foreign country and start flying around in it. Qatar's government has close ties to multiple regional actors, including some the US keeps at arm's length. Even if they swear it's clean, every defense and intelligence official should be losing sleep over the possibility of surveillance tech, data leaks, or tracking systems baked into the aircraft. And optics? It's troubling. It tells the world the US presidency is up for auction. You can hand over luxury jets and in return get favorable treatment, arms deals, or silence on human rights. It undermines every diplomatic stance the US claims to hold. Bottom line, it's reckless, unethical, and dangerous. It's not patriotic, it's corrupt, and it shouldn't be tolerated no matter who's in office. Just imagine if Joe Biden had accepted a gift like that. What would Trump end up saying? Alright, now, I want to ask one last question about the Republicans' reaction to it. And this one should be interesting, so here we go. The Republican reaction to Trump accepting a $400 million jet from Qatar is exactly what you'd expect when loyalty runs into reality. A chunk of the MAGA crowd is trying to look the other way, but the fact that voices like Ben Shapiro, Laura Loomer, Ted Cruz, and even Rand Paul are calling this out tells you everything. This wasn't just a bad look, it was a full-on betrayal of the America First brand. You can't spend years bashing globalism, talking tough on foreign influence, and then turn around and accept a flying palace from a Gulf monarchy with a shady track record and expect your base to swallow it. And yet Trump's trying to pitch it as a cost-saving move for the country. Nobody buys that. It's not patriotism, it's opportunism. The fact that even hardline conservatives are calling it a bribe or a stain on the movement tells you how far off message it really is. The MAGA base was built on outrage over corruption, elitism, and foreign entanglements, and here's their guy cozying up to Qatar with a $400 million gift that literally lands in his lap. Bottom line, Republican criticism here isn't betrayal, it's damage control. They know this looks bad, they know it's indefensible, and for once a few of them are actually saying it out loud. The bigger question now is whether that criticism sticks or gets buried under the next culture war distraction. Alright, and there you have it. It's actually kind of funny to see how some of them are slowly turning away from Trump. Anyway, I think that we all pretty much agree with ChatGPT's takes, but let me know yours in the comments below. What do you think about that gift? And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the links in the description if you want to support the channel directly. Once you've done all that, go ahead and click on this video where I ask ChatGPT to track every single law that Donald Trump has broken since his inauguration, and believe me, it's worth your time. Thanks for watching, click on that video, and I'll see you over there in just a moment.